Hey, what's up everybody? In today's video, we're going to be looking at two controllers by Haute42, the U16 and the R16. Now these two controllers might look a little bit similar at first glance, but there are a few key differences between both of these controllers, which I'm going to be going over in this video. I want to say a big thank you to Haute42 for sending me both of these controllers for review. Now, while Haute42 did send these to me, don't worry because everything in this video is my own personal opinion and I haven't been paid to tell you what to think about these controllers, so don't worry about that. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'm going to make this as quick and as fast as I can. And we're going to check out the general overview of both of these controllers, what they can do, what the differences are, and who I think they're for, how much they cost, and if you should buy it. Really quickly, let's just go over some of the similarities between these two controllers. They both have a single USB-C input along with a USB pass-through. So if you need to play this on a PS5 or an Xbox, you're going to find them. The locations are different. The R16 has it right here, and then the U16 has the pass-through on the top. Both these controllers use a GP2040 PCB inside, which means they're both going to work right out of the box on PC and PS4. However, if you plan to play on PS5 or one of the newer model Xboxes, you are going to need a PS4 to PS5 or an Xbox converter in order to get that to work. Now, my recommendations, you're either gonna have to get a Brook PS4 to PS5 adapter, or what I recommend is a Mayflash because they cost about half the price of a Brook adapter. Both those converters work, no problem. I've tried them both on PS5s, no issues for me, and no, they do not add any significant input lag. Now, Haute42 also sells their own PS4 to PS5 converter. I've heard good things about it, but I haven't tried it out myself, so I can't vouch for the quality of it. Like other Haute42 products, I'm sure it's great, but like I said, I haven't tried it, so I'm not going to include that in my list. Again, Mayflash, Brook, those are the two you're going to want to go for. Then they both have a display panel for when you plug it in, you can see what your SOCD settings are, what your current button layout is. They both have a display panel and they both have the same number of buttons. These are both 16 button. Now, for those of you who aren't too familiar with Haute42 products, let me just show you one that I got a long time ago. This is the T16, one of their earlier models. I reviewed this about a year ago, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. Now, the previous Haute42 models, they use 30mm buttons, and as you can see here, all of the buttons are the same size between the right hand, the left hand, and the jump button. They're all uniform. But let's take a look at this. As you can see, all of the buttons, except for the jump button, are a traditional 24mm size, while the jump button is the larger 30mm size. So if you're the kind of person who likes to use the traditional hitbox button size layout, then you're gonna really enjoy both the R16 and the U16 compared to the other Haute42 products, which mostly only have uniform button sizes. Another unique feature to both the U16 and the R16 is that they feature rims around the button. So you can see that the T16 here only has the button kind of protruding out from the top. There's no ring around it. But the U16 and the R16, the rims are built right into the top of the case, and that's going to make it easier for you to do slide inputs. So if you're a person who plays a grappler or a person who does lots of slide inputs, this might be a controller that you'll enjoy more than the other Haute42 offerings because of that additional ring around the button. Both the R16 and the U16 use exactly the same key switches. They both use the Kyle crystal key switches, and these are very, very similar to the Reds. Some minuscule differences. The only major difference between these key switches and the Reds, which are found in a lot of other flat box and some other Haute42 products, is that because these are translucent, it's going to be much easier for the RGB lighting to shine through. So let's take a quick look at the RGB right now. So here's the RGB lighting on both of these controllers. I'm going to set this to just the default pattern on this one, so it's going to be cycling through all the patterns. So while they both have the same internals, just because of the way the body is built, I found that the R16, it's much easier to see the RGB lighting compared to the U16. It just doesn't really shine through as much. Now this is me recording at night with the lights in my house on. So let me just go ahead and turn off the lights and we can see the difference between the two. So here are both the controllers in a low light setting, and it's really easy to see the difference in the RGB lighting in these two controllers, especially when we look at the R16 here. Because of the acrylic body, the RGB lighting is going to shine through the body as well, which we don't get on the U16. So if you're the kind of person who really values RGB lighting and really wants it to like shine and look really cool when you're playing, then you might prefer the R16, because I do think the lighting on this one is a step up from the lighting on the U16. Now, the button sizes of both these controllers are exactly the same, but there's one really big difference between these two controllers, and that is one of the layouts of the additional buttons. So here you can see on the U16, there's an additional button here on the bottom below the jump button. But then if we go to the R16, that's not there. And that additional button is gonna lie right over here where your left pinky would go. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I like my pinkies. I use them both all the time, every day. And if you've been using a conventional style controller, you'll notice that your left pinky's kinda here doing nothing and you don't get to use your left pinky. So if you're a pinky person like I am, you're gonna be really happy with this controller because you get to use both of your pinkies, your right pinky and your left pinky. So you're gonna get all 10 digits is gonna be one of the benefits of this controller. So if you're a fan of digits like I am, this might be the one for you. And standard with all Haute42 products, the turbo, home, start, select buttons are all laid out in the same spot on both of these controllers. There's a row of 4 plus the 1 turbo button over here on the R16. And then again, you have the row of 4 plus the 1 turbo button on the U16 here as well. So that part is exactly the same. The U16 is a little bit unique for a Haute42 product because as far as I can tell, this is the only controller that they've offered, or at least the only one that I've tried, where the model comes in a completely plastic casing. The good part about this is it's all plastic, so it doesn't weigh very much. It's actually significantly lighter than the R16 that I have here. Just when I'm holding it in my hands like this, I can tell that this one is significantly less heavy than this one. So if you're a person who likes large size controllers but doesn't like to use a heavy one, this might be more up your alley because it does weigh significantly less. Unlike the R16, the U16 supports custom artwork because of the plastic panel on top. Haute42 sent me some different stock artwork to switch out for myself, and replacing the art was really easy to do. One more very small difference between the R16 and the U16 is that the R16 came with this Haute42 Hyper Light USB cable. This is a higher quality USB than what's typically offered in their other products. It has like the kind of knitted wrapping USB cable. It's not just a plastic wrap on the outside. I love the way this feels. It's very loose, very easy to move, and I think this is good for tournaments because, you know, it's not stiff and it's easy to put into your bag. And then of course it has the typical USB enders, this one for your controller and then this one to go into the PC or PS4, PS5 if you're a tournament player. That's going to be super important. And as we can see on the box right here, this is 3 meters. For you crazy people who use the Imperial system, I have no idea how long that is in yards, but I'll tell you, it's long enough. And everyone knows that longer is better, and I'm pretty sure that this cable is longer and better than the ones that usually come standard with Haute42 products, so this gets a thumbs up from me. Now, of course, the big thing that I'm sure everyone is wondering, the price. As of the recording date of this video, both of these controllers are on sale where I live in Japan on Amazon, and they both go for almost the same price. There's only about like a 1,000 yen difference, which is gonna be about $4 to $5 American difference. So if you're thinking about price isn't really a factor when you're choosing which controller you want to buy. You're just gonna have to figure out which one is better for you. And I think the main deciding factor for you, rather than price, is going to be, do you value having an extra button on your left pinky, or do you prefer having one on your left thumb beside the jump button? And do you want an all plastic lightweight enclosure, which we have in the U16 here? Or do you prefer a more solid, heavier acrylic paneling with a plastic top like the R16 that we have here? That's what you're going to need to think about when you're deciding which controller you want to buy. In closing, if you're looking for an inexpensive, good quality leverless controller to either upgrade from your previous one, or if you're completely new to leverless and you want to try, I think you'll be very happy with either the R16 or the U16. If you're the kind of person who likes using their left pinky for an additional button, then I recommend the R16. And if that isn't so important to you, but you prefer lightweight, all plastic, then the U16 might be more for you. Either way, I don't think you're going to be disappointed with either of these controllers because, like all other Haute42 products, they're good quality, inexpensive, and they feel good and get the job done. So if you're looking for a new leverless controller that won't break the bank, you can go with either the R16 or the U16. If you enjoyed this review, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button because it helps me as a content creator and lets me know that you want me to make more videos like this in the future. And for those of you who stuck around to the end, thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.